Welcome to another Demarcation Media LEGO review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Batmobile, Tumbler, Scarecrow Showdown. Not gonna lie, that is a kind of dumb sounding name. But this set made me really excited when it was released, or actually when it was first revealed, first leaked, because first of all, that meant we were getting finally an affordable Batman from the Dark Knight trilogy in his, well, this is technically his Batman Begins suit. It changes a little bit over the three movies, but for the most part, that is the Dark Knight trilogy suit. And before this, the only way to get it was to buy the big UCS Tumbler, and that was just a big no from me. And if you wanted to buy him on the aftermarket, he was like $40. That was also a big no for me. So this was really exciting. And then it came out, and then I kind of just didn't get it for the longest time, which is why this review is kind of late. But I finally got it from Barnes & Noble a couple months ago, and I wanted to take a look at it because it's a really good set. So, first of all, looking at the box is an interesting shape and size. It's kind of very square, and it's kind of very thick. And we got the Dark Knight Trilogy branding on it. That is definitely not the Dark Knight Trilogy Batman. That is like the comic Batman. Not sure why LEGO stuck with that because it's Dark Knight Trilogy. But, that's a minor thing. There we get to see Batman, some more buildings, and then around the back we get to see all the features of the set. The inside of the tumbler, the shooting feature, Batman is currently punching out Scarecrow, the tumbler is blowing things up, and we get to see that there's an alternate face for Batman, which was really surprising to me. So, interesting box. Definitely one that will stand out on a shelf. It has a very big shelf presence. But then the instructions are tiny. Like, they're thick, but they're so small compared to the box, which is a little weird. And then, since this is Dark Knight Trilogy, it just kind of ends, and there's no instruction, no ads like what we see in the back of instructions a lot. We just get a rebuild the world thing, which is a police helicopter with ketchup and mustard and a hot dog. What is this, cloudy with a chance of meatballs? But yeah, and then the build of this thing is really interesting. I would recommend this set purely for the build alone. It was mind-boggling, and I've built a lot of LEGO sets. So, really cool. But yeah, both of these, they are just the box and instructions. And what we're really here for is the set itself. There we go. There's the tumbler itself. When you first build it, so this is a $40 set, right? Which is pretty fair, especially considering LEGO's prices these days. It's a 422-piece set for $40. I'd say that's a pretty good price per part ratio overall. 2 minifigures, and then once you're done building it, at first it might not feel like you got a $40 build, but the amount of work that went into this it's mind-boggling. So we'll take a closer look at that in a minute, but I want to take a look at the minifigures first, starting with Batman. LEGO has made a lot of Batmans over the years. Batmans, Batmen, Batsuits, I guess would be the correct way to say it. They've made a lot of Batsuits. Some of them are really unique, some of them are not. In my collection, I think I have 25 different Batsuits. But I gotta say, this is one of my favorites. I really love the way the suit looks in Batman Begins. And I feel like LEGO did a pretty darn perfect job of capturing it here. With one exception, but it doesn't really have to do with the suit. I mean, you could have asked for leg printing, sure, but honestly, in the movie, he really doesn't have that much detail on his legs of his suit. There's just some contour lines for the armor. So I think it was unnecessary. I don't think leg printing was needed at all. And what is here is really cool. I think that looks fantastic. Even the back print looks amazing. The belt has a handful of different shades of gold, so it's kind of shiny. And then LEGO decided to do the cape that's a single hole, which is cool. I'm a little confused as to why they did it, but it does make the cape kind of stay puffed out a little bit more like it's flowing in the wind, which is pretty neat. He comes armed with a Batarang. You also get an extra one in the set. And then my major complaint with this figure is that face. That is the generic Batman face that has been used for years. And LEGO has a face specifically for the Dark Knight Trilogy Batman, specifically for Christian Bale. But they decided not to use it here, and I'm confused. The only side that looks decent is the frowning side. So what I do is I actually take the face from the Batman vs. Superman Armored Batman and use this because the expressions look much more like the Christian Bale Batman. So you've got that, and then you've got the angry face. Because Christian Bale never really smiles as Batman. So LEGO's inclusion of that one head, I just don't understand. Now, they did include another head, and this is the first time we have ever seen this. This is the fear gas hallucination version of Batman. So, for those of you who have seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who have not, Scarecrow is attempting to spray Batman with the fear gas. Batman knows what's going on. He's already gotten himself inoculated against it. And so he grabs the sprayer and sprays it back in Scarecrow's face. And then becomes this like tar gargoyle demon thing in Scarecrow's eyes. So that's what this is. That's what that face is representing. And that's really, really surprising. I was not thinking that they were going to do that. But LEGO went the extra mile and gave us this head, which, I don't know, maybe that's why they didn't do the special head, the Christian Bale head, and they just did the generic one. Maybe the generic one is cheaper. I don't know. I'm debating whether I would prefer this head and the normal Batman head or just the Christian Bale Batman head. I don't know. But he also comes with a grapple gun, which looks pretty nice. Overall, really, really fantastic figure. I'm so happy to finally be able to get a Dark Knight Trilogy Batman without spending $100, not even $100. What is it, like 200 or 300 now? Or paying $40 for one minifigure. So, huge, huge plus for me in there. The Dark Knight Trilogy Scarecrow makes his first appearance as a minifigure, and he looks pretty darn good. He's got his gray suit and tie, fairly generic, and this torso would be useful on other figures, except for the fact that he's got the bottom end of his burlap bag that he wears as his mask, and then the string. It's around the back as well. The head is done really well. A hat, like mask piece, would have been ideal, but this is an acceptable compromise, I think. The eyes look pretty good through there. All the stitched lines look pretty good. Around the back, you can see the straps kind of keeping it together. I think that's his hair poking through right there. It's pretty good. Then he comes with this silver stud shooter with a green stud here. That's supposed to be the fear gas. And then this is not an extra one on the back here. This is actually like the little fluid tank to spray the fear gas. Not accurate to the movie in the slightest, but it is a nice play feature. Overall, another really good minifigure. I'm not like a huge fan of the Scarecrow, but it is a nice addition. You know, Batman's got somebody to fight, and it's not just another Joker, because every time there's a Dark Knight set, I feel like LEGO just wants to put in another Joker. So now let's go ahead and look at the tumbler itself. LEGO has done one other minifigure scale tumbler, and that was from that weird Dark Knight Rises set that had the Bat and then Bane's tumbler, and that was a terrible tumbler. It was just not good at all. So I was a little worried that this was going to follow the same sort of, same design. But no, not at all. LEGO built this from the ground up, and it looks on par with like something you'd see in the Speed Champions line. It has all of the details that you would want to see on here. It's got the dual window, even a little bit of an angle to make that kind of angry face. All of these like armor plates kind of hinging down. The middle like weapons area is just a sticker, but I don't think they could have done any better here. And then you even got like some suspension, like faux suspension in there. The stud shooters are here, and it shoots a pair of gold studs. I know a lot of people don't like stud shooters, but in this case, they integrate really well. I don't think they really cause any problems to the design, so I'm fine with them being there. Got some stickers here. I like the gold kind of scattered throughout. Got some more here. The like roll cage looking thing here. All the scoops and vents and lights are present. Lego has gotten all of that detail down to like this little angling out section here. This wing going forward. Really cool use of parts here. And then you can see kind of sloped under there. And then the whole thing is built kind of angled back, which is super cool to watch it come together. And then from here, we've got the giant wheels on the back. And then the thruster. This is the most plain section of the whole build, but it still looks really, really accurate. And then we got more faux suspension. And then if you kind of look under here, we have some more like detailing to keep things from looking too bland. And then the top hinge is open. And then we've got a full interior, which I'm at a really bad angle to actually look in there. So that's what the inside looks like. We have a bucket handle here to kind of simulate the steering wheel. Whoops, I'm popping that out. And then there's a little screen here kind of just to show some more instruments. And then over on this side, we have 2 stickers to show more detail work. There's a little shifter in the middle. There's a clip here on the back. You could fit the grapple gun there, but it's really meant to hold the Batarang, like so. And then it's really easy to get Batman in here. You just kind of plop him in, make sure his cape is positioned. And there's even a second seat, so if you want to build a figure of Rachel, you could recreate that scene, or you can just have Scarecrow go in there as well. Well, I said, you know what, you get the idea. Oh, now he's going in there. Yeah, so there we go. 2 minifigures fit side by side. Batman and Scarecrow can go on a drive together, probably to Arkham Asylum. Close it up, and then you can kind of see the figures through the windows, which looks fantastic. Oh, you do have to lean Batman just right, or else you will have the ears kind of popping into the roof and makes it stay open. If I had to complain here, the gaps there are a little bit unsightly, but because of the way this thing is designed, most of the time you won't see that that's even a problem. It just kind of hides itself away. So this version of the Tumbler is pretty darn close to being size accurate as well. Yeah, it's a little on the big side, but it's close. So I wanted to do some size comparisons. First, because probably nobody else has done this, there is the Warthog Rally Warthog side by side. I feel like that's pretty close to being correct scale-wise. I know mega figures are a little different, but that's pretty close. And then, just for the heck of it, here's a dual mode Warthog. I feel like it's got a similar vibe to the Tumbler. They both are like battering rams, basically. So that's pretty cool. And then we also have the Corvette Stingray, which, yeah, that looks pretty correct to me. Tumbler, again, is slightly large, but in the films, it was bigger than your average car, because it was like driving all over the police cars and just destroying everything. So that looks pretty close to me. And then, finally, we have the new whatever. It's the new Lamborghini set. Yeah, I think this is fantastic size-wise. Like, I don't think we could have asked for the same amount of detail and any better scale. Like, this is fantastic. This might as well be a Speed Champions build. It also rolls really, really nicely. It's really stable because of the big back wheels. It's really sturdy as well. You can send it flying along the floor, and if you crash into stuff, you maybe lose 1 or 2 pieces, but that's it. It definitely won't just shatter on you. I'm struggling here to find some bad things to say about this just to keep this objective, but it's just so well done. The gaps on the sides here and the Batman head are literally the only things about this set that I can really find to nitpick on. It's just, it exceeded my expectations, to be honest. I was expecting a good build, but this was something different. Well, there you have it. That is the Dark Knight Trilogy Tumbler. Yes, I know that's not the name, but the name is dumb. Like, sorry, Lego, whoever was in charge of making that name, it's dumb. The Batman, where's the box? What do they even call it? Batmobile, Tumbler, Scarecrow, Showdown. Yeah, no, it's just a Tumbler to me. So, like I said, I'm really having a hard time here saying, like, keeping this objective because it's just so well done. This could be used as a playset. It could be used as a just like a display piece because it's so well designed. I mean, heck, you can angle the air brakes up on top depending on how you want it to be driving. So, honestly, I don't see any reason at all to buy the UCS version of this because this is so well done. $40, they put their absolute best into designing this, and it looks fantastic. It drives fantastic. The minifigures are great. You know, the Batman head is weird. I don't know why they chose that head. But other than that, and other than the gaps on the side, this set is an absolute just... This should be like the gold standard for superhero sets, or at least DC sets, because this is just so well done. I'm really, really glad I decided to pick one up. Depending on where you live, this may or may not be difficult to find. There was a little while in like stores around me where it started to sell out, and then Lego.com was on back order, and I thought, oh, that's at the end of its run. But Lego restocked. I found more in some Walmarts and stuff. So you can still find it on store shelves now. I'm pretty sure Lego.com still has some stock. And then, of course, there's always eBay and Mercari. I don't know what the pricing is like on there. I don't know if we have a real solid like aftermarket idea like in terms of price since it's still on store shelves. But yeah, $40. This is 100% worth it. If you're a fan of the Dark Knight Trilogy, or if you're just a fan of the Tumbler because it is an epic vehicle, I would say go ahead, pick this up. You will not be disappointed. Like, I went into this optimistic that it was going to be a good build because I had a friend of mine has this set and I was able to kind of drive it around before I bought the set myself. And so I kind of had an idea of what the end result would be, but the build itself blew my mind. I was not expecting that at all. So huge thumbs up to whoever was in charge of designing this. They did such a great job. 100% recommend this. You will not be disappointed. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.